If you live in the United States, you might know ASUS by its popular line of laptop PCs. But you might not know that the company also makes smartphones. Smartphones with their own visual identity. All original, not at all inspired by anything else. I'm Mr. Mobile, and this is a Zenfone 5 hands-on from Barcelona. If you're already clacking out a comment about how not all notch phones are iPhones, I get it. From the Essential to the Weeko, plenty of devices out there need a gap in the display to accommodate the camera and the earpiece. And sure, there are only a limited number of ways to design a pocket-sized rectangle. But plenty of other companies manage to kick out their own designs despite that reality, and when you put the Zenfone 5 next to the iPhone X, I'm just saying, it's hard to ignore all the similarities. So, why cover it at all, right? Well, appropriated or not, the design is striking, and ASUS actually does build upon it in interesting ways. The secondary camera on the Zenfone 5, rather than being the more common telephoto or monochrome, is actually a wide-angle shooter, one of the rarest designs around and my personal favorite. ASUS is putting a lot of emphasis on the software driving that camera, with scene detection and automatic calibration based on lighting, but frankly, everyone's doing that. I'm more encouraged by another corner of the software. The company has finally gotten in line with so many others and removed the majority of prepackaged bloatware that used to gum up the works on its earlier phones. Also, it's running the latest Android Oreo. The speakers have been redesigned to be much louder, the display brightness can crank all the way up past 500 nit, and the processor is top shelf. Now here's where I'd usually say to wait for the full review to see how the performance shapes up, but look, there's a lot of great phones out on the market already, and a ton more were just announced this week. With an exact launch date not yet hammered down at press time and a history of thin availability in the US, the only reason you'd have for paying attention to an ASUS phone in North America is price. Half the price of an iPhone X. So if a $500 iPhone X running Android is the kind of thing that sees your saw, well, this might be worth praying to the US carrier gods for. For everyone else, it's probably not your next smartphone. This video was brought to you by Thrifter. Thrifter is a new way to save money on everything from gadgets to home goods by shopping based on value and not hype. Check out the latest deals at thrifter.com and tell them Mr. Mobile sent you. I'm on the come down from MWC 2018 in Barcelona, folks. Be sure to subscribe to The Mr. Mobile on YouTube so you see all the in-depth coverage to follow this week's quick looks. Until next time, thanks for watching, and stay mobile, my friends.